So what about preparation? So you took my course in December,
That's right. This last weekend classes.
in which I lost my voice.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, okay, right, right. So recently, okay. So
Yes.
what's the preparation status?
So I have just started it.
Okay,
Just downloaded the material, and my main focus first is to read through the book and make my notes, and then compare the notes with my class notes.
okay,
And once I'm fully confident that I've gone through the whole material, and then I would start doing my mock exams.
okay.
And then I would try to do as much as mock exams, and then would appear for the exam. But right now, I was just filling out my application. I was having little, I was not sure how to put my work experience in my
Okay.
application. So that's why I thought probably I would take your help there
All right.
and book for my exam kind of in mid Feb.
Mid-Feb. Mid-Feb is good, right? 40, 45 days, it's a good time.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me what's the issue, what's your experience, and where have you been working? So we can talk more about that.
Okay. So I have been working as an estimator in construction industry from last 3 years. So
Okay.
with my current company, I am working from last 2 years, and then
Okay.
I worked with another company for a year.
So total
Um,
experience is 3 years.
Actually, more than 3 years, but like as an estimator, 3 years. Before that, I was working as an AutoCAD designer. Um,
Okay. And those estimates were relevant to various projects.
Yes, various projects. And it is mostly waterfall approach.
Okay.
Uh, Normally, all the projects, like it's a construction industry.
All right.
So my question was like, I work on a lot of estimates, like different projects. We bid projects, so I wasn't sure like how to put that experience in, start and end date of the project, and some of the projects which we win, we transfer those projects to operations,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that they take care of it. Like I do the initial process of it, collecting all the documents, doing the estimate, contacting all the subs and suppliers, getting all the pricing in, and then compiling the whole number. Once we get the job, I transfer that information to PM, and then after that I just keep checking in with him, like how the project is going, but he actually executed on the field.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Understand. Tell me one more thing. Once you complete your estimate and you hand over all the data and work to the other department or whoever is responsible for execution of project, is there any kind of involvement there from your side after that? For example, any kind of support or anything like that?
Yeah, we do process change orders. uh,
Process change orders. Okay. So you develop estimates, but normally what happens, for example, when initial estimates are developed, all other workings or even payments are based on those estimates, and detailed estimates are developed on those estimates. Then the teams who develop those detailed estimates, maybe from the contractor side or maybe the executing agency, they contact the person who has developed the initial estimate,
yes.
because there's an exchange of information. They need some basis or which assumptions you might have taken, or they may contact you for confirmation of some numbers or something like that. So is
Yes.
there any kind of continuous support that you do during the life cycle of the project?
Yes, sometimes we like on some of the jobs we do get involved in by the PM, where
Okay.
we talk to the client as well, and we some of the suppliers even contact us, but it's not normally happen on all of the jobs. It's one of those jobs where PM needs constant help.
It's rare. It's not a regular thing. Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense. So can you write down names of projects, like five, six projects during that period? In
Y-
3 years, I assume that you might have been working on various projects, like I
yeah.
number. But to be on the safer side, I would recommend you to mention 5 or 6 projects, 5 or 6
Okay.
major projects on which you have been working. Uh,
Okay.
and in application, if you might have noticed, like, experience is added based on projects, not based on organizations or number of years. So you need to enter a project, then you need to add the duration. So for example, if you have worked, let's suppose, 3 months on that particular estimate, so add 3 months, 6 months. So on some add 3 months, on some add 6 months, depending upon the volume of the work or the time you have spent on those projects. And also where you think like you have provided support function, maybe you can extend the duration of that project. So in that
Okay.
sense, you'll be able to complete your experience. The easier approach is just take the project start and end date. That's the simplest approach. But just to be on the safe side, I would recommend you to add more projects, so that you don't misrepresent anything. You provide
Yeah.
accurate information, and you
Yeah.
provide information about your own work, rather than,
That's
for
right.
example, if you have worked on a project for 3 months and the project duration is 5 years, it doesn't mean your experience is 5 years. Your
Exactly.
experience is 3 years for that particular project. So I think mention 4 or 5 projects, and where you have worked for 3 months, mention 3 months. Where you have provided support, you can mention 6 months, 9 months, depending upon that support duration, right?
Okay.
Regardless of the volume of the support. But since you have provided that support, you can extend that duration. Uh,
Okay.
and this is how you can, mention your experience. And when you write your experience, read the description or the requirement by PMI. You might have noticed like they have written, provide project description, deliverables,
Yes.
and something like that. There are 3 4 things, and your responsibility, your own responsibility, not your team's responsibility, not organization's responsibility, your own responsibility. So I
Okay.
recommend to my students, write one line brief description about project, like what is the project. Write one line description, what are the deliverables, key deliverables, 1 2 or 3 project deliverables, right?
So,
And and you can write your own deliverables, like what was your deliverable. Your deliverable was estimate, whatever you call it. Sometime it is called independent estimate, sometime it is called engineers estimate, sometime it is called estimates for bids. So whatever, in the
oh,
terminology that you use. And then most of the content in your description should be about your role and your responsibility, right? So
okay.
I normally recommend at least write 300 to 400 words about your responsibility. Total should be 500 words, including project objective, project description,
Mhm.
deliverables, and there might be one more term, project outcome, like what would be the result of the project, why we are doing the project. So one line about deliverables, one line about description, one line about outcome, and a paragraph or small paragraph of 300 to 400 or 500 words about your responsibility. So do this for one
Okay.
project, similarly for second project, similarly for third. This is how you will be doing that.
Okay. So, for example, this would be mostly about like how I prepared my estimate on the job, like what was the scope. For example, I attended site visit, and this is what we noticed on the site visit that we need.
Yeah,
For example, a boiler replacement. We are replacing a new boiler, and then that was scope. I kind of figured it out on the site,
yeah,
and then after that I transformed all that information into my software. I prepared my
yeah,
estimate. I requested all my pricing from my supplier on
yeah,
the boiler, and then once I got that, we prepared an engineer estimate, and then I got my um, like construction estimate. We prepared a construction schedule, like how
yeah,
much time it would get the job to be done on site and the lead time on the equipments. And
yeah.
then based upon that, we prepared that estimate, and then this was my basically role and
Yeah,
responsibility.
this is the typical role, and this is purely project work, right? This is purely
Yes.
project work. So what you can do one more thing. Rather than writing everything in one project and just repeating the same thing for every project. You can highlight, for example, in one you can highlight your role as a you visited the site and you conducted that kind of survey, visual survey, or just to look at dimensions or something like that. And the second, you can mention like which software you have used, what was the functionality of those software, and how you put the data. And third, you can mention like, for example, what different types of estimates you have developed, and which
Okay.
estimation techniques you have used. There are various estimation techniques. So highlight
Yes.
different parameters of your work in different projects, so that when somebody reads your application, he or she gets the idea like you have done different type of work in different projects. So highlight different characteristics of your work in different projects. So that would give a kind of uniqueness in your.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And the outcome should be the project completion.
Project.
Like we were able to replace the new boilers
Yeah,
for example.
yeah.
Okay. The outcome should not be like my outcome, right? Like preparing the estimate. That should be my
That is your
uh,
deliverable.
that is my deliverable.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I see in the question they ask for your experience
Yeah.
for project objective outcome. Um, Outcome should be the project result, end result, and deliverable would be my
Yeah.
duties, and roles and responsibilities would be my actions and duties.
Yeah. Mainly,
Okay.
actually, when they ask for project deliverables, they ask for overall deliverables. But you focus on your work because for you, the
Okay.
project is particularly that duration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Understood. And sorry, the start and end date of the project, should I just like put it based upon my how
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
time?
Because if you mention the project start and end date, then that would be considered as your experience,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That you can do for the projects where you have provided support.
Okay.
On those projects, you can do that. But
Okay.
where you haven't provided any support, your role was just for 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, I suggest,
Yes.
just go for 3 months.
3 months.
As
Okay.
long as your basic requirement for experience is fulfilled, we need not to exaggerate, or we need not to mention anything that we haven't done. So your
Okay.
experience is okay. It's 3 years, so everything is all right. Just put the information in chunks, and
Okay.
it will be all fine.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect.
Anything else regarding preparation?
Uh, no. I guess for now, like I have not actively started preparing for it because I thought I'll fill out my application first, book for the exam, and then I would have clear idea that how many days I have, and then I would start actively working on the preparation. And if I would have any questions, meanwhile, I'll just reach out in the WhatsApp group for the help.
Also, the strategy is very simple. Like, you have your own notes, and let me show you notes that we have developed during the class. So I'll be sharing that as well with you. So I have shared my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
So I have compiled all these notes. So you can see this is lesson number. Uh, I'll check the order. So you can see this is lesson number one,
Yes.
then lesson number two, then lesson number three, then this is part of lesson number four, right?
Yes.
Resources, procurement, integration, then team management. I'll just check the numbers, rest is fine. This is lesson five, this is lesson six. So I'll be sharing these notes with you, okay? So
Okay.
you can match your notes with these notes, because these notes cover 100% of the exam content. Okay. Like
Okay.
I have added every possible thing that could be, asked in the exam. So,
Okay.
and the sequence of concepts is similar as we studied during the session. And I think I developed half of these during the session, and then I made sure like everything is there, and we haven't missed anything. So I'll be sharing
Okay.
these with you.
Okay.
You can use these, and also the strategy is simple. Read the book
Okay.
and solve mock exam. Simple thing. I have already shared the book with you. Read the book, go through it at least twice. And
Twice.
once you're
Okay.
done, I'll be sharing questions with you. Also, uh, if you want to do, normally what I suggest is when somebody reads a book, for example, if you have read a chapter, solve chapter wise question. I have also chapter wise questions. I can share that with you. So, for example, you have, let's suppose, studied scope related chapter, or you have studied agile related chapter. So, solve agile related question, 20 or 30 question. Remember, I have given some of the question during the
Yes.
during,
3 or 4 assignments. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I have 10 or 15 assignments similar to those. So when you
Okay.
solve those, because these questions are just to make sure like you understand, like not to gauge your skill set, but just to understand like you have gone through all the content and nothing is missed. But the questions that I will be sharing with you, the 2000 questions, those are premium quality questions. Those are exactly similar to uh, real exam. So that would be a
Okay.
real test, like how you would be performing in the real exam. So if you want to do that, I can share that as well with you. So keep things
That would be
simple.
really helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep things simple. Read the book, solve chapter and questions. Once you do that twice, uh, then solve 2000 questions. If you get more than 75% marks, go for the exam.
Okay.
And also keep track of your marks. For example, if you have completed a mock, so track the numbers, for example, at 50%, 60%, so you can see gradual improvement. So that would be really helpful.
Okay. Yeah, I would follow that strategy. Yeah, I would start from the book, and meanwhile, I'll wait for your notes, and then, and for the mock exams as well, and then we'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good luck for the
Thank you so
exam.
much,
And
Amar.
yeah, no problem. Anytime. Take good care of yourself and best of
Thank
luck
you.
for your exam.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Enjoy. Bye.